Our studio is on Market Street, as we like to highlight to start each program. We're kind of right in the middle of this region we call Central Virginia that's about 300,000 people strong. Right next to the police department, a block away from the courthouses of Albemarle in the city of Charlottesville, a block off the downtown mall, and less than 2 miles from the University of Virginia. Yesterday was a big day for the University of Virginia as the data science school had kind of a splashy opening. And the data science school is certainly going to have a monumental effect on the community. And this school is a step in the direction of not only the future, but the present. Artificial intelligence is quickly becoming all the rage. And this data science school is going to basically educate and mold the next generation of AI and data scientists. We'll talk about that on today's program. We'll highlight some of the news that the University of Virginia has put on their media platform, and then we're going to take a look at it from a lens that is unabashed and unafraid and willing to really make predictions on how it's going to impact this market. What we wanted to do on today's program was highlight some of the news stories that we passed along to you on each edition of the show this week. And this week was so very busy with local news. It was so busy from the Anti-Defamation League offering the University of Virginia an F when it came to the security and safety of Jewish students on grounds. It was busy from restaurants that are currently on the market for sale, like Uma's on Water Street with an asking price of $120,000, or Himalayan Fusion on the downtown mall with an asking price of $150,000. This week was busy with real estate news. There's a hotel that is potentially coming on the downtown mall that was previously scheduled to be an apartment tower, and now the developer has said, you know what? I may make this a 160-room hotel instead. A lot was covered on today's program, including the apathy that is running wild within fan base of the UVA football team. We saw that apathy this past Saturday with the spring game that was very meagerly attended. Very meagerly attended, the spring game. We talked this week on the show of new restaurants that were opening, including Terra Restaurant opening in the old Red Pump kitchen location, and a wine bar and tea bar opening in the old Guajiros location. We also have a pizza joint that's opening in Fry Spring Station. This pizza joint has ties to sister restaurants in North Carolina, a parent company that likes to open restaurants in college towns. Yesterday, we highlighted an email that was sent to us by a 1992 UVA graduate. She was a product of the engineering school and how her family has become disenchanted with the University of Virginia. And we also discussed neighborhoods in the city that had the best walkability to local restaurants. So there's a lot I still want to cover on the show. We're going to do potentially this moving forward, a highlight or recap show. We've been asked this by viewers and listeners if Fridays could be a recap of the week that was. And we're open-minded to your suggestions. We want your suggestions. I'm going to give some attention and some kudos to Dino and Muthru. They are a partner of the I Love CVille Show. And this weekend, if you're around Pro Renata or Crozet, we encourage you to consider Dino's and Muthru at what is quickly becoming the Disneyland of Crozet, and that's Pro Renata Brewery. We're conversating with the owner of Pro Renata, Dr. John Shabe, about returning him to this network so we can discuss with him his plans of expanding the brand, not only in downtown Stanton, but right now, front and center, and atop his agenda and to-do list is a third location in the Shenandoah Valley. Those details I will have relayed to you by Dr. John Shabe himself. I'm going to give some props and kudos to Judah Wickower, who's navigated some technical difficulties today, and he's done so admirably. Judah, I'd love to weave you in on a two-shot here when you're ready and
all right.
Discuss some of the storylines that I think stood out to you. For me, the top storyline this week has been the University of Virginia. The University of Virginia has seen a new school, the data science school, usher in a new era, as they called it, with the opening of its home on, what is that, Ivy Road right there? The Emmett Ivy Corridor. This used to be the home of the, Cavalier Inn Hotel. Yesterday was a big to-do for this school. The gentleman who offered the money to make this school happen, Jaffrey Woodruff, in attendance. I think this program and this school is going to dramatically change Charlottesville and Albemarle County, in large part for the good. We're going to see some of the best data scientists educated and encouraged to pursue their dreams through this school at UVA. It's state-of-the-art, it's cutting edge, it's innovative, $120 million of money behind it. We will see this school position the University of Virginia on the global scale for data science and reinforce the brand that is UVA even more nationally and globally as the best of the best. This school is going to take a curriculum that is going to be at the forefront of so much, and it's going to put it right here in our backyard. And we'll see students become professionals through this school, and many of them are going to choose to either stay in Charlottesville or return to Charlottesville. This school is going to create a secondary or auxiliary market with it, and this secondary or auxiliary market is going to have a number of businesses opening up locally that want to cherry pick the talent that come from this school. We're going to see the same effect with the Paul Manning Biotech Institute, the same effect that we've seen with the McIntyre School of Commerce, the same effect that we've seen with the Curry School of Education, the Darden School, the Law School. As these little silos of education emerge, and as they're birthed in Charlottesville, these silos, when working together, have a dramatic effect on the community at large. Yes, there's going to be some collateral damage, and that damage is going to be an escalated cost of living. That damage is going to be gentrification and community character change. But a lot of people say that's what comes with being in a university town. We certainly talked yesterday of how the university is changing the look and feel of Charlottesville and Albemarle County's urban ring. We talked yesterday about Thomas Jefferson and how he's positioned with the university, even at the tour guide level, as prospective students and prospective parents who are considering UVA for college for their 4 years of learning. They're learning on these tour guides that TJ is not all he's cracked up to be in the eyes of the university anymore. Apologies are being made by tour guides to prospective students and prospective parents. We learned this week that the Anti-Defamation League is not really looking at UVA favorably when it comes to the security and safety of Jewish students. It's graded UVA with an F. Now, UVA is not alone with that grade. Harvard University, Stanford, MIT, UNC Chapel Hill, to name a few, also received an F. UVA was quick to push back on the Anti-Defamation League and said, while we're going to do an internal investigation on this, we don't think this is fair or applicable to what the university is really doing. A lot I want to cover today. I'll weave in Judah Wickower into the mix here with the two-shot. There were storylines galore on today's show, on this week's show, on the shows that we did over the last 4 or 5 days.
No doubt.
We had restaurant news, new ones, restaurant news that are for sale. This week we had UVA news. This week we had real estate and development news. What stood out to you this week the most? Where do you want to begin?
Well, I like the fact that as we've been talking about places closing down and seeing dessert places open up, but not necessarily restaurant places, I appreciate the fact that we are now starting to get news of some restaurants opening, and I think that's great. I wish them all the absolute best of business in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Speaking of Ivy Road and a business that we know very well, I stopped at Moe's after work yesterday. For anybody that doesn't know, there is currently a Burger Week going on, and Moe's is one of the participants. I tried their, I believe it's called Smokehouse Burger. It was delicious. Had a had a wonderful burger and some collard greens and potato salad and a beer. Sat with Liza outside, had a wonderful time, had a delicious burger, and I highly recommend that people stop there or any of the other places that are involved in the Charlottesville Burger Week. There are some interesting offerings available.
Terra Restaurant opening in the old Red Pump location. Wine and tea bar opening in the old Guajiros location.
Yeah.
A Neapolitan pizza restaurant opening in the old Fry Springs Station location.
Yeah. Pineapple.
Pineapple.
I'm just going to call it pineapple.
It's a joke that's unique to Judah right there. Pineapple, I think it's Pineapple is the exact name, has sister restaurants in North Carolina. The parent company of this Fry Springs eatery that's about to open likes to target college towns
That's good.
with opening of restaurants.
They couldn't have found a better spot.
Oh, that spot's fantastic. And I echo what you said. These locations, Fry Springs, Red Pump, I guess to a certain extent, Guajiros, some of the marquee ones that have been vacant for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Pump, you can make a fairly convincing argument that is one of the most marquee locations on the downtown mall.
Yeah.
Fry Springs Station, the most marquee location in the Fry Springs neighborhood.
Right.
Guajiros has thousands of vehicles and passerbys every single day. The old Guajiros location,
Yeah.
the old Latois Parallel 38 location. And maybe it's a sign of what's to come. Maybe it's a sign of the local economy getting a bit stronger. But
Yeah.
for the good news, there's some news that is potentially concerning. Restaurants continue to come on the market for sale. Uma's, we talked about on this show, we broke this news for you, has an asking price of $120,000.
Yeah.
They just opened Uma's a short time ago, and the family behind it is looking to exit from Uma's. Himalayan Fusion's been on the market for an extended period and has an asking price of $150,000, and there's 5 other restaurants, including one Icon, that are for sale in non-disclosure agreement kind of ways. So, it's a vulnerable space.
No doubt.
I also want to highlight Burger Week that's going on and is a way in a slow period to support the businesses that we want to see have success and survive these headwinds that we're seeing. But you still have some marquee spots that are vacant. I mean, the Shadwell spot on Pantops, that one confuses me. It's been what? Shadwell's, it's been a steakhouse.
Yeah.
It's had 3 different, I think it was at Topeka's.
Yeah, that sounds right.
At one point. At one point, it was the sister restaurant to Ivy Provisions in Fry Springs Station. That spot can't seem to find any luck.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and it just seems an odd place. I don't know why, but it just feels like a place that obviously gets passed by a lot, and maybe it needs more around it. I don't know. Maybe it needs a little. I think I've mentioned before that I thought
it's got parking. It's got drive-by traffic.
Oh, I know.
It's got a captive audience.
It's got plenty of drive-by.
Affluent neighborhoods around it.
Yeah, people coming from Keswick and those parts over there. I think when they're coming to Charlottesville, they're passing on the wrong side, and when they're coming back, they're probably not thinking about dinner at a place like that. I honestly don't know.
Which of these stands out to you as the most concerning vacancy? Shadwell's, Fellini's, Giraffe Tap Room. I mean, God, is Coop's open, folks? I mean, is that back open? I'll take a look at that. But Shadwell's, Giraffe Tap Room, or Fellini's? Which of those stands out to you?
I mean, Fellini's and Draft Tap Room both stand out. I think Fellini's just because it's almost a Charlottesville
It is an icon.
legend, icon, and the fact that it stayed closed so long, the fact that it's visible to traffic driving up and down Market Street, I think that's probably the one that stands out the most to me. Draft Tap Room, to a lesser extent, it is on the downtown mall, and it's sad that it's got those papered up windows and the black magic marker written on the windows, and a guy living in the on the front stoop of the of the restaurant. I mean, whatever you want to call it, but I don't think it's as visible or important as the empty Fellini's. And Fellini's was such a great place.
I've heard rumors through the grapevine that Fellini's, the owner of the building, is insisting that it stays a Fellini's.
I mean, I can understand that, but
can you?
If that gets in the way of
having anything there at all?
Yeah. What do we say? The perfect is the enemy of the good?
Perfect is the enemy of profitability and productivity. Tom Powell, good afternoon. I appreciate you watching the show.
That's a businessman's take.
Yeah, I've heard from reliable sources that the owner of the building insists it's a Fellini's and has insisted it's a Fellini's, and that's why it has not changed.
Yeah, and I can kind of understand that, but
can you?
If you've got the money and you don't really care about anything except for the name, sure. I mean, it's obviously not a decision either of us would make, but
I'd say the top storyline, we're talking restaurants, but the top storyline this week has got to be everything associated with UVA. I mean, UVA is always front and center on this show, but I mean, look at this week alone.
Yeah. Oh, they've had
Data Science School opens. Anti-Defamation League gives it an F for the security and safety of Jewish students.
Another fraternity gets its what is it, FOA?
Its charter terminated.
Yeah, for at least 4 years, and some of the members may be getting charges pressed against them.
Other fraternities suspended.
Mm-hmm. One suspended just this semester, I think in January.
We learned from parents that have gone through tours that TJ is being disparaged and tour guides are having to apologize for Thomas Jefferson.
I mean,
and then the previous week we saw the Robert Hardy, Razor Blade Ellis fall out at the board of visitors.
Yeah. Plus, we've got die-ins going on. We've got students insisting that the president and the school disavow what, I don't know, Israel, I guess, and disinvest from any businesses doing business with Israel.
You had a box truck running around grounds last week.
Yeah.
With commentary about the rector.
I love that.
Robert Hardy. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, UVA is certainly getting some press these days, and not all of it good.
Which one do you find most compelling? And most compelling doesn't mean necessarily agree with, but most compelling as storyline to follow.
Well, coming from my racial background, I'm of course very interested in the anti-Semitism and the students acting out die-ins, and just all of that is it definitely captures my attention. Judah Wittkauer is a Jewish name. I don't know if I would want to be on the UVA campus if I were a student today.
You wouldn't feel comfortable?
I mean, I haven't been down there, so I honestly can't say that I wouldn't be comfortable, but I think I would be checking my six as often as possible.
Johnny, checking your 6. Johnny Ornelas watching the program. He says Fellini's needs a lot of TLC. It absolutely does. He said he looked at it a year ago. And Juan Sarmiento watching the program said he heard the same thing that I heard, that it needs to stay Fellini's. Juan asked if the owner wants the name to stay on that building and on that location. I mean, I've heard from multiple people that the space needs to stay Juan, not just an Italian restaurant, but Fellini's itself. And that's in part why when Chad Raglan took over the space from Jackie Dunkel, Chad Raglan owned Wild Wing Cafe on West Main Street. That was one of the first restaurants to close during the start of COVID. Chad purchased the business from Jackie Dunkel of Fellini's. He kept it there. And then Chris Humphreys, who's now the executive chef at Bonnie and Reed, the seafood restaurant on the downtown mall, he kept it Fellini's as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're not going to allow a restaurateur to come in and you know, this is all conjecture and secondhand, although the secondhand that I've heard this from are folks that, you know, would know. If you're not going to allow the changing of the name and the concept or the menu, then you're going to have limited options for the space. And that could be a reflection of why it stayed vacant for so long.
Yeah.
And it's also commanding a fairly expensive price tag for not being on the mall itself. I mean, think about the restaurants that are downtown, but not on the downtown mall themselves.
Yeah. Monsoon.
Kit Ashley at Monsoon has had tremendous success. Kit is a friend of the program. She's a client of the program. Monsoon is always busy. It's my wife's favorite Thai restaurant. That family and that business does Thai food better than anyone in the region, I would say. Certainly my wife would say that too.
Yeah.
Toshi at Now and Zen, right behind Monsoon, has had a ton of success. Toshi does a fantastic job with that sushi. Humongous rolls at Now and Zen.
They're gigantic.
Dean Maupin at C&O on Water Street has done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
He's carrying on the legacy of Sandy McAdams and of the late, great Dave Simpson. Outside of those, who's had long-term success off the mall? You throw Bang Tapas in there. You could throw South Street Brewery in there.
Yeah.
We've seen the Tonic space, although Courtney Tyler is doing a good job at Tonic across from the police station. She's had some success of late, but that's been a number of things.
Yeah. Bocce.
Cafe Bocce,
Tin
Carlton's, Whistle. Tin Whistle.
Then you've got the space. You've got the space that Autos is in. And
Autos is changed, although we love Autos.
I hope they have long-term success there.
That's the restaurant in York Place, right?
I think that's on the corner. It was Nosh for
right.
a little while.
Yep.
And
used to be Modern Nosh. Good
before
call.
that, I think it was a pho place.
Corner of Water and Second.
Yeah.
That's had some turnover, although I think Autos is going to have some long-term success. Look for more of that on the I Love CVille show maybe next week.
Definitely.
Mono Loco spot. Michael Lewis had some long-term success there, but you've seen some turnover at Mono Loco spot now. Uma's asking price. They're looking to get out. Before that, it was Moe's for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So now you're about to have your fourth concept in less than 10 years, maybe less than 8 years there. Iron Poffles is for sale on Water Street. Catherine Matthews, the restaurateur behind Iron Poffles, that's for sale right now.
There was
Fellini's, obviously. The Salad Maker and Soul Food Joint.
That's another place that I'm happy.
It's on Market Street.
I'm happy to hear is moving and not going out of business.
We learned that this week from Aaron King. Soul Food Joint is heading to Rio Road.
That's great news. Again,
Sean Jenkins is a good man. Wish
him nothing but success there. We've got what was that place? The what are those thin pancakes called?
Crepes.
Yeah. Do you remember was it Crepes and More? Crepes and...
The Creperie,
The
yeah.
Creperie, yeah. That had pretty long-term success. What is that now?
I guess the point we're making here, even the ones that are on the mall that are paying top dollar, there's various portions of the mall that have more popularity than the others. The code building side of the mall, where you're seeing Whiskey Jar,
Yeah.
Bebedero,
Yeah.
where you're seeing Rockfish Brewery,
Yeah.
Christian's Pizza, Crush Pad, the Dumplings Place,
Bizou, Miller's.
Bizou
got
and
the
Miller's.
Blue, what is it?
That side of the mall is booming with popularity.
Yeah.
The other side of the mall, the City Hall Pavilion side of the mall,
Less so.
Himalayan Fusion for sale, Draft Tap Room vacant, Blue Ridge Country Store, cover the windows,
Indefinitely closed.
closed for a while, although I'm hearing potentially opening it to something else.
Okay.
Red Pump Kitchen closed since the beginning of COVID, but Terra is looking to move in there. I saw the menu online for Terra. I got a sneak peek of the menu sent to us.
Yeah.
And the menu of Terra, the new restaurant in the old Red Pump Kitchen location, there's a lot of pastas on the menu. It seems to be priced very fairly, to the point that I was surprised.
Well, I got to take a look at that.
You're seeing, we hope that side of the mall, the pavilion side of the mall, get a reincarnation or a rebirth.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced that's going to happen, or has happened yet.
You don't think once the Fridays After 5 starts up in earnest, that's not going to change?
But why hasn't that been the case for up until this point?
I mean, it could have just been...
You're going to chalk that up to COVID?
it could have been continued. You know, a lot of stuff changed with COVID, and I think some things will head back in the way they were, and other things are just not going to ever be the same. But I think that hopefully we'll start to see more movement on the downtown mall, and we've got the weather and the summer coming, and you know, we'll see how it goes.
Let us know your thoughts, viewers and listeners. We'll relay them live on air. There's a local luminary.
Oh, wait, dang it.
The Market Street cam is going to be tough. Lloyd Snook just walked by. What does the Market Street cam look like? Is it on screen?
Yeah, I put it on screen. You can take a look.
Take a look at the Market Street cam.
I adjusted
that's not bad.
Yeah, I adjusted the brightness. I can zoom it in closer, but I don't think we're going to really get...
Give it a zoom in, the Market Street cam.
We're not going to get super sharp on anything.
I would love... See that horizontal bar right there that holds the window up? I would love if the Market Street cam was... The bottom was that horizontal bar.
Who's that? Who's that guy?
Can the bottom be the horizontal bar of the shot of the Market Street cam?
There it is. I'm zoomed in as far as I can go.
We're going to have to be really quick on the switch, because we have roughly 4 to 5 seconds of them walking by.
Is it legal to videotape these people?
Yeah, this is our location. The local luminary Market Street cam will be woven in as part of the show. All right, let's go back to us. This is from Tom Powell, the founder of the Toy Lift. He has this question for us. Are you ready for this?
Maybe.
In regards to UVA, why can't the school just teach and not allow protesters to interfere with the education of the students? I think you can make a strong argument that the school is pursuing students that fit that protesting model.
Yeah, I think you might be right with that. I think they also want students that are
intellectually curious and willing to challenge authority.
Not necessarily. Not even necessarily anything to do with that specific aspect of what's going on at UVA now. But UVA wants students that are active, wants students that are connected, wants students that want to be active and connected, and whether that's getting political or being in a sport or whatever. They don't want students that just sit in their rooms and study. So Yeah, you're right. They do want students that connect, and in this case, we're just getting what a lot of universities are getting.
Oh man! Did you agree with my take yesterday that that's going to then trickle over to Charlottesville and Albemarle County, into the city and into the urban ring?
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting take, and I can definitely see the merit in what you were talking about, in the fact that if the type of students at UVA are largely politically to the left, and alumni are the ones who often are the most have the most reason to come back to Charlottesville and move here, then if the majority of UVA students are left-leaning, then you could make the argument that the majority of people, having that nostalgia and wanting to move back to their college town, are also going to be left-leaning, and then you get more and more people voting in the elections, voting for a particular side, and you get something here where you haven't had a political a council person from the right side of the aisle in how many years?
Since the Schilling election. And take it a step further, it also changes the counties around Charlottesville and Albemarle, because you will see the shift of the resident and population head to the Louisa, Orange, Greene, Fluvanna, Madison counties to live. Here's a good example.
You're saying that those that disagree
or feel disenchanted,
yeah,
are going to get up and leave.
Right.
And they're going to get up and leave not far from here because they're still tied to their job or their families.
Yeah.
But they're just going to go and change the feel of the counties surrounding Charlottesville and Albemarle. Here's a good example. The Madison County School Board, they have approved, the Madison County, Virginia School Board has approved changing winter break to Christmas break for the 2024-2025 school calendar. Madison County School Board, you can find this story in the Daily Progress, is now going to call winter break Christmas break. They are also considering spring break to Easter break, but the Easter break did not get as much traction because it's later in the calendar compared to spring break, which is earlier.
Yeah.
Regardless, winter break is now Christmas break on the Madison County Public School calendar. That would never happen in Charlottesville City Public Schools or Albemarle County Public Schools.
No.
Ever. That's an example of what we're talking about, how you're seeing you're seeing, there goes Charlie Kabash right there. He's almost a local luminary.
I was watching him on the...
Charlie Kabash, one of the most prominent downtown real estate owners, the owner of the building of Soul Food Joint, the owner of the Kilwins location, friend of the program, Charlie Kabash. Anyway, I found that fascinating, that Madison County School Board was willing to change its winter break to Christmas break. Fluvanna, I could see them doing something like that. Louise, I could definitely see them doing something like that.
Meanwhile, we're changing school names despite massive pushback.
Are you referencing Agner Hurt?
Yeah.
You want to tell that story?
I mean, I don't know much of the story except that they're changing it. I believe they're changing it to just Agnor.
Agner Elementary School.
Because apparently somebody was, I'm not going to use the language I was going to use. Some people are not happy with the history of Mr. Hurt.
Benjamin Franklin Hurt, a former Albemarle County Public Schools administrator. Researchers at ACPS Community Education told the school board members in July that they did not find anything problematic with any of Agner's public remarks or affiliations. However, they did with Mr. Benjamin Franklin Hurt.
And so he's being stricken from the record.
He served as the principal at Albemarle High School from 1954 to 1984, Mr. Hurt did.
What did he do to sow anger,
this, according to Charlottesville Tomorrow, while principal at Albemarle High School, the high school's Booster Club, a group dedicated to raising funds for their schools, held minstrel shows as their annual fundraisers.
That's cool.
Minstrel shows depicted black Americans in extremely derogatory and stereotyped ways. So I would say far from cool.
Well,
and would typically be performed by white people in blackface. The high school yearbook featured pictures. This is from Charlottesville Tomorrow. The high school yearbook featured pictures from the show along with other problematic imagery.
and what years was this?
Well, he was principal of Almora High School from 54 to 84. Hurt stricken from Agner Hurt Elementary. So, I mean, look at this dichotomy that's happening. At Madison, you have winter break becoming Christmas break. And at Albemarle, you have Merriweather becoming Ivy Elementary. Agner Hurt becoming Agner Elementary. I mean, they're looking for a mascot for the middle school, for the Buford Walker New Middle School. They're asking the public for feedback on what the mascot could be.
Did they change the name of Kale?
Yeah, Kale's Mountain View. Kale's Mountain View Elementary.
You know, I always thought it was just named after the leafy.
There's no Kale outside the elementary school.
I mean, I don't know who Kale is. I don't.
Kale's an actual human being.
I know. I don't come from Virginia, so when I drive by, all the times I've driven by Kale Elementary, I was like, well, that's kind of an odd name. Kale is spelled with a K. But you know, whatever. If someone's offended, then I mean, I guess that's the law now. If one person is offended, then we all have to make accommodations.
The stories of the week we're highlighting in the Friday edition of the show. And if you guys like a recap show for the Friday show, let us know. My wife has asked for a recap show. Sarah Hill Buczynski, did Mr. Hurt do anything good? The answer is yes, she says. I hope we are not judged in 50 years only by the bad things we were associated with, because no one is only good.
Thank
100%.
you. That's well put. And very, very, very true.
Travis Hackworth in Danville says, you definitely do not want a community and leadership that is a majority reflective of only one side and stifles views from the other. 100%. Yeah. That's what we have here, Travis. Probably the opposite of what you have in Danville. Certainly what we have here. And I agree with SHB's comment about 50 years from now, us judging only on what someone has done bad.
And not only that, but judging based on a changing morality. We have to, we don't have to, but it would be nice if people would understand that things were different. And that doesn't make them right or good, but the fact of the matter is you can't go back. You can't view the past through our own lens because it doesn't work that way. Things change, often for the better, and we're better for those changes often, and we become better people and we become a better society. But that doesn't mean that the past didn't have merit. Like when you said minstrel show, I didn't say good because white students wore blackface. I said good because I thought it sounded like kids participating in like a Renaissance fair. Because we live in a different world today. I would never even think that was a part of a minstrel show unless you told me. And being offended by something that someone did 50 years ago that has absolutely no impact on my life today is frankly just sad.
Suzanne Daly, Judah's on point. Judah's often on point. Thank you, Suzanne, for that comment.
Thank you.
That's what they're doing with TJ.
Yeah. I wouldn't be...
This is what I don't understand with the Thomas Jefferson storyline.
Will his name be completely stricken from anything to do with the school someday?
Well, remember when Nakia Walker came on the show, former mayor of Charlottesville? Yeah. And I asked her about Thomas Jefferson at UVA, and she basically said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Thomas Jefferson should be completely stricken from the record that's at the University of Virginia. And if you want to see those comments from the former mayor, Nakia Walker, just check YouTube. That interview with the mayor is online. You can find it anywhere. In fact, if you go Google Jerry Miller, Nakia Walker, you'll see the video online. She said TJ should be completely stricken from UVA. This is what I don't understand. If you're vehemently opposed to TJ being tied to the university, yet you choose to attend the university nevertheless, how do you characterize or quantify that choice? Is it hypocrisy?
I think it's hypocrisy and virtue signaling.
That was my second.
At a terrible T-bone at a crossroads intersection, you've got hypocrites and you've got hypocrites and what was the other part of my equation? Sorry.
The T-bone. I don't know what's going on in your head over there. You're at the intersection, the T-bone intersection of virtue signaling and hypocrisy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because
it's scary that we're finishing each other's sentences.
If the fact of his name being tied to the school so offends and angers you, but you're still willing to come to the school, then that's hypocrisy. And if you're posting about what a great and righteous person you are, trying to change the plainly, obviously ignorant hoi polloi in Charlottesville and at the university, that's virtue signaling, and you.
That's what I have a difficult time wrapping my head around that.
Because there's no sense to it.
Well, I know, but is the sense this though? Where the university is actively trying to recruit a student that challenges authority educationally, intellectually, socially, professionally. Is that what the university wants now with its student profile?
I don't know that they care a whole lot, as long as they're making money.
I used to think that they don't care as long as the tuition needs are met. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think those that are in the Office of Acceptance, Admissions, the Dean's Office of Admissions, are prioritizing this type of candidate. Like, would it not be telling that the Dean's Office of Admissions is antithesis athletics and proponent of educational, professional, social, geopolitical pushback and challenges with its students?
I'm not sure I'm following what you're...
I mean, people can chalk up piss poor attendance at, say, football games to the fact that the team has been piss poor. But we just had a graduate of 92 say, we think the reason that's not well attended the game is because the student doesn't even care about it anymore. And they don't even care anymore, today's student, about the traditions that made University of Virginia what it is. Mm-hmm. It's no secret that so much of it has changed. You see the Greek life being diminished. You see the attire at athletic games, the ties and the button-downs and the sundresses change. You see the traditions that fourth years were doing, whereas you went from underclass to upperclassmen being forgotten. And they're being replaced by sit-ins and die-ins.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think there was always a certain element of that in most schools, but I think with the emergence of cell phones and iPads,
people are more connected.
Social media, we're more aware of the causes that are, sometimes just passing fads, and other times possibly something that's actually meaningful. But the fact of the matter is, I think students, younger people, people entering college age and colleges and universities are more aware of what's going on in the world, and I think they, to some extent, care more. But I think there's so much information out there that it's really hard to get a balanced view. A lot of these students and a lot of people that aren't students find their own little echo chambers, whether it's on Facebook or Reddit or X.
The I Love CVille Show?
The I Love CVille Show. I think we tend to be somewhat balanced. We obviously have our viewpoints, but I try to be...
I hope to God people see it as balanced as possible.
Well, not from your end, but...
How do you say that? Oh, I take offense to that. I take offense. I come here and try to be as balanced as possible.
But the point
and
is...
could balance is balance offering a perspective that is contradictory to the populace?
No, I think... to my mind, balance usually involves giving facts of both sides, not necessarily...
I think we definitely do that on the show.
Unpassionately.
SHB watching the program, she says she disagrees with the students, wanting students that are willing to push against the narrative. She believes, Sarah Hill-Baczynski, that they want students that do not challenge the narrative they put forth.
Well, then they're doing a really bad job.
Bill McChesney says, I Love CVille Show is his sounding board. Thank you, Bill. And he highlights that he's 15 in the ranking. Thank you.
Thank you.
She also says that balance is seen as far right now. That's unfortunate. And a large part true, though.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we're on to something with the highlight show, the recap show. Head up, Buttercup, as my son would say.
In a wild crocodile.
Anytime someone is down, or like, he would say, head up, Buttercup.
Tell him that might get him smacked someday. Probably not anytime soon, but...
I hope that won't get him smacked. Because whoever does the smacking is going to deal with a world of hurt.
Well, like I said, I don't think anybody's going to smack a 5-year-old, but at some point, people are not going to be very happy if with that response.
Head up, Buttercup is a good response. It's a good outlook. It means, come on, figure it out. This is from Deep Throat. Here's a good way to close the show. Deep Throat's number one in the family. With respect to protest culture, my firm has pretty much stopped hiring out of the high prestige U.S. universities. We will hire people who have graduated, but they need to have worked somewhere else successfully. So we know they aren't crazy. Deep Throat says, for entry jobs, we have been doing more hiring from overseas universities for overseas offices, and for our second-tier schools in flyover country. Those kids are more sane. Deep Throat, we appreciate your comments today.
That's some wisdom.
It's the Friday edition of the show. We appreciate you guys. I sincerely mean this. I try never to speak for Judah, but I think on this one I can speak for him. We put a substantial amount of effort into the shows that we do here, and what we hope is that you guys appreciate the content that we create and understand and realize that we're only as strong as you guys, the viewers and listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to say thank you. Enjoy the weekend. I think it's Fox Fields this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
The culmination of Burger Week this weekend. Little League Baseball is in full swing. As you can tell, allergy season is in full swing. My better half is going to a baby shower. No. What's it called when you have a wedding shower? Bridal shower
Bridal shower, I guess.
in Connecticut. So yours truly is alone with two bambinos, including a 17-month-old that is teething. So please say a prayer. For Judah, my name is Jerry, and this is the I Love CVille Show. So long, everybody.